Good afternoon, thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. We're going to be doing another video on the game called Orrstead. The name should be in the title of the video, so if you do want the spelling of it, just check that out. Um, it is kind of an early demo of the game itself. I know even in their Discord they have went a good bit further than what this demo currently will demonstrate. So if you do want to check that out, you check that as well if you see that the mechanics of the game is something that you kind of enjoy or it might be in your wheelhouse as far as games that you would like to play as well. Um, so that said, it kind of just starts with an initial procedurally generated map. So it just kind of auto generates something each time you restart it. And so we'll probably actually regenerate this one because we're probably going to want something. This feels like it'd be a very easy map to build on. Because you kind of want this dark green here for farms, which there's a pretty good amount of that. Um, Being that these islands are both pretty big, because this one's still a fairly large section as well. Yeah, this could be an easy one. So yeah, that's that. There are quite a few different maps that could be generated, and it's kind of all over the place as to what it could be. Yeah, as far as that goes. What we're probably going to actually do is we might work off of this northern one, just because I think the trees here give us much more ability to do a lot. And then this is pretty much a massive farm for that. So, and then this light green is basically where you would put like sheep and stuff. But anyway, so the tutorial itself, um, the controls are pretty straightforward. You know, ASD, W, EQ for rotate. And then what we're probably going to want to do is kind of center our core building. Well, after playing this a few rounds, I don't think it entirely matters that much if this is even near anything else, truth be told. Like we could drop it in this corner and it wouldn't matter because the only thing it really helps with is putting new people in. So with that, what we might go ahead and do, just for testing on this particular video, since we've kind of run it a few times already, we're going to kind of put it towards the edge of our territory here. Because the only thing this really does is it basically populates new people in. So as we hit different numbers, we're going to be building a bunch of stuff here in the center, because the center piece will probably be mostly our residential. And then our wood production will be on the south and north. So let's knock out those. And it might knock out at least a small section of this. Alright, so I guess the first thing I'm going to do, because I think the beginning of our pods will be right here. So, we're going to build 2 houses. And once these guys get closer, we might do 2 farms. Because the houses should put us at about 4 right now. Now, unfortunately, this early game can be a bit slow because we're kind of trying to get them houses while at the same time getting them food. So sometimes they will die on us before they actually get there. Alright, so they do have housing now, and now we do have food production. So, granary. Might go and throw that pretty close because we can't really build any farms quite on the rest of this here. Alright, so we should all do kind of normal pace at this point. Um, so one of the big things with this particular game is you're trying to do a lot of building adjacency to things. That's pretty much what makes the entire game itself kind of work here. So like alright, so the good thing is we're starting to get some food production going down here, so we could probably expand this to kind of give people a little bit more to do up there. I think we could probably do this one too. The reason why we kind of did this little section here like this is that eventually we're going to put a little farm location in the center here, which basically buffs everything around it. Because a lot of it again is based kind of on these adjacent little things like that. So what I'm thinking is probably be this. There'll be one where this tree is, one where this tree is. And then at that point, we would then place it'd be this building here that we get at level 7. Um, it basically buffs up the lumber mill locations here. Alright, so let's fast forward again. Because pretty much what these will now do at this point is they're going to start producing wood constantly. Right now they produce 3, which is not particularly good, but okay, so there's a tree here, so I was going to chop that one as well. I'm going to build another one here and another one there. Alright, so tavern is unlocked. So next thing we're going to kind of work on here will be the housing section. And for that, since we should now hopefully be getting sort of a net positive on resources. The tavern effectively makes it to where these houses can be upgraded. And that'll be part of sort of the more long-term game plan of what we need to do. But in order to get a lot more people, we're going to have to build a lot more houses to kind of get this whole process moving a little bit faster. Alright, so we're still not at level 6 yet, but we are getting close. Because everything's kind of based on our level. So if you see up here in the top right, so in this case we got the farmhouse, and I believe we also get, that's level 7. Okay, so next level is that one. However, we did get the farmhouse, and the farmhouse will be down here. And what the farmhouse does, is it basically gives a buff to every farm that's adjacent to it, like this. Basically giving them, they all have a little more production than they otherwise would have. And as you can see, we're running a pretty big surplus of wheat now, which is actually really good. So the next thing we're going to do is start building up some of our little neighborhoods here. And as you can see, this basically covers those 5 houses, but we are going to build houses all the way around these taverns. So it's kind of our early um, areas that we're kind of designing, so that way we know where to build things at. Let's go and build that out. Might put on normal time at this point. Yeah, that way we can kind of gradually catch up with how fast everything's kind of popping in. So to kind of give you guys an idea how this goes, is that normally these all come in as just regular houses. So a house has nothing particularly big benefit. It just basically has a few people in it. Then at that point, oh, I guess they can become mining blocks too. Oh, that's good to know. I haven't actually done mining blocks. So yeah, there's a few things that we can do here. And so instead of houses, which is usually where this would start, is because they have a tavern, which are going to be these little buildings here, which they kind of blend in right now, but once we level these up again, it'll be easier to see. So whenever they level up, they now give us more happiness and then people. And then from here, there's 2 different ways this can upgrade. One is a fishing shack, and the other one's a townhouse. So like a townhouse requires 2 markets and a bakery, which we don't have access to yet, but we will pretty soon. The other one is a fishing shack, which basically means you just need to build a lot of these houses near docks. We don't have access to docks yet, but that'll be an option as well. So there's a couple different ways you can progress the houses themselves as far as where they can go. Let's go ahead and drop more houses. Now we did get the lumberjack house, and this was another big thing that we needed. Lumberjack houses basically make each lumberjack location that's adjacent to it much stronger. I think it'll pretty much double their output as far as what they can do. So this would be about the equivalent of building 4 more of these. We might build a few more of these little units like this. Because it should be... Yeah, because I think we could probably do it right here, actually. Like, it'd be this corner, this corner, this corner, that corner, and this. So what we might do is actually put a small gap between. And the reason for the small gap is later on we're probably going to want to put some markets and stuff in between. So I think it's just going to be for future placement stuff. Oh, no. We do not want that there. We want houses there. Actually, we don't even want houses there. Um, so we're going to do a massive construction of houses here because we're basically building out 2 more neighborhoods. And normally you could build like a road going through here, which I guess, technically we could always do that too. But eventually we're going to get things like bakeries and markets, and we kind of want those to basically buff all these houses up. And sometimes the easiest way to do that is basically put a gap between these neighborhoods like that, where you can kind of put in little business areas between. But otherwise, so so I think I'm going to just drop a dock here for now. I don't know that we're going to keep this dock here because we might actually build most of our docks on the other end here. So at some point we'll probably build a bridge across, and then we'll actually use the other side of the river for most of our dock uses on it. Because at level 10 here we should be able to get bridges. And with those bridges you can do a little bit more with that. Alright, so this is kind of the thing I was talking about a little bit ago. So with these, we can pretty much so this covers up to that neighborhood, so let's go ahead and just drop that there. Two houses and 3. Okay. Alright, so we are having production issues. So we do need to kind of streamline getting more wood going. So another lumberjack house, which we don't have a path to, so we need to put a path first. And we're going to speed things up just a little bit. So now one of the downsides of the style that the game kind of runs right now is that it doesn't actually give us the ability to kind of like blueprint stuff, which is kind of like we can kind of prelay stuff and eventually they'll build around it. So like in this case, we had to wait for that path to be built. And additionally, we also have to wait for one of these lumber locations we built, even if that's currently our plan is to build those out. Until one of them are officially built, then we can't get the thing that actually buffs it built out. See, now we can build it. And that's a good thing. Like, we do have a pretty decent amount of production. However, we are actually lacking on the food side now because we have a much larger population. So I think what we want to do next. Alright, let's go ahead and drop to a normal time frame again. We're going to build yet another one of those. Farmhouse. Again, since we don't have farms now, we can't drop the farmhouse until at least one of those are built. So, the most likely cross will be here. So we might go ahead and actually build those. We do have access to a bridge now. Oh, I guess we don't have the gold for it. Okay, so we at least have our bridge now. Alright, so mining. It does look like there's actually a lot of mining on this island, which actually would be good. Mining causes pollution, and with pollution, you don't actually want it near a lot of your houses, nor your food, or anything along those lines. So, like, my personal idea would actually be to build a bunch of this down here. Mostly just chop this down because it was mostly just gonna be in our way. We probably didn't actually need the wood production, but because we're probably gonna expand down here as well, it's good just to knock it out now. But I guess technically, I mean, this would have been a decent farm here too, but it might be better just to go ahead and go with that. Because I think we have enough space to. Because, like, these would be okay farms. I mean, it's basically 5 spaces, so we lose 2 on these. Another corner one. Yeah, so we may go ahead and just keep building these out. Alright, people, build faster. Uh, Probably actually want this here built out as well. Because as the population expands, we do need to actually make sure that keep everyone happy. You kind of need to build out like food production. You also have to get more like fisheries going. So there is a lot of little considerations, but I think the big thing right now is trying to avoid them starving because you're getting a lot of food symbols and stuff, which basically means we'll start losing population if they are failing to eat on here. Oh, yeah, we unlocked a bakery as well. I guess because we got the mines and so now as these bakeries start to pop up, um, the good thing is it's going to start upgrading a lot of these houses, which basically changes the roof color. Alright, so we'll build one more farm here. And then kind of the same thing as these little pods down here. We're basically just going to build a farmhouse. Because as our population increases, we want to make sure we are ramping up food as well. Let's do this just to make it. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter if we build a road there or not, but just to make it look a little bit prettier, we'll drop that there. Let's see if this speeds up things. I think as of right now, they're basically walking all the way around. I may go ahead and just drop a road going this way too. Because a lot of the center, it's probably just going to be sheep anyway. It's kind of another thing that we got pretty soon. So that said, we'll actually cut this video here, and next one hopefully should finish out the demo itself. And at that point, we'll kind of show the remaining parts of it. But as you can see, a lot of this has more to do with things like adjacency, because adjacency is kind of what gives bonuses to different things and makes things more efficient. Because there's not a lot of things in a demo that might be coming later, there might be more considerations you have to do. But being that I'm kind of building within the aspects of the demo itself, this is pretty much what I'm limited to on that front. Otherwise, thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. You have a good day.